Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A mom of 3 was pregnant with twins, and then she got COVID-19 and nearly died. Tonight, her message to anyone not taking the pandemic seriously.
With any vaccine, there's understandably concerns about side effects. I'm Dr. Frank McGeorge. What we're learning about the potential side effects of the Pfizer vaccine and how often they really occur.
But we'll begin with the latest coronavirus numbers. The state of Michigan passing another grim milestone.
The state reports more than 5,900 new confirmed cases with 191 additional deaths. 79 of those are from a review of vital records. The new numbers bring the state's total number of deaths to more than 10,000. There are more than 410,000 confirmed cases from the virus.
Other virus headlines today. The State House canceled voting session scheduled for both tomorrow and Thursday after a staffer tested positive for the virus.
And tomorrow is day 1 of the health department's extension on current COVID-19 restrictions. This means indoor dining is still not permitted and high school and college classes remain remote only.
University of Michigan is canceling its annual big rivalry football game with Ohio State. An increasing number of positive COVID-19 cases and student athletes in quarantine over the past week led to that decision, and it is the first time the game will not be played since 1917. Bernie will have more coming up a little later on in sports. A Detroit family of 5 was excited to be growing with another set of twins on the way. They were born prematurely after their mom got COVID-19.
Jasmine Logan then slipped into a coma, and doctors feared she wouldn't survive. It took a Herculean effort to keep this mom alive. Priya Mann spoke to her from her hospital bed.
Doctors at DMC say Jasmine's case was a perfect storm of catastrophic health issues stemming from COVID-19. Now, this is a young woman with no underlying health conditions, and it took a team of doctors and nurses working around the clock to save her life.
I just want to love on them and kiss on them because I miss them. I never had to be away from them this long.
Jasmine Logan was on the brink of death and in a coma for nearly 2 weeks fighting COVID-19.
It's definitely painful not being able to see my children or wake up to them or talk to them like how we usually do every morning.
Jasmine was pregnant with her second set of twins when she contracted the virus. Her labor was induced in November, but doctors realized the young mom might not survive.
She went very rapidly downhill, like very rapidly. She came in short of wind. Within a few hours, she required intubation. Her heart started to fail within a few hours after that.
Then her liver and kidneys failed.
It was terrifying. Everything that she was experiencing were essentially causes of death.
Stephen stopped working to look after their 3 eldest kids, all under the age of 6. They too tested positive for the virus while their mom was in a coma.
It was a mental storm going on in my head of me trying to figure out what exactly do I need to prepare myself for.
Jasmine was then placed on ECMO, a treatment doctors use as a last resort.
This one in particular was special. So the gravitas of the situation was not lost on anybody.
Doctors at DMC expect Jasmine will be back home with her family, including their newborn twin babies, in about a week.
You never know what tomorrow will bring. So love on your family, kiss them, tell them you love them, enjoy them. You just never know if it happens.
In Detroit, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Wow. Well, the community has stepped up to help the family while Stephen is out of work caring for the couple's children. A GoFundMe has been set up for the family, and it has already raised more than $100,000. If you would like to help, we've put a link to it on our website. Just go to clickondetroit.com. Well, we are just 2 days away from the FDA public meeting to consider whether to issue an emergency use authorization for the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine.
As promised today, the FDA released the data that will be used that is very central to that decision. And our Dr. Frank McGeorge has been digging through it. He's back with a closer look at a really important part of this, Doc, and that's the potential side effects that have turned up thus far.
Exactly, Kim and Devin. So most of the vaccines, we sore arm to some fatigue or a fever. But Pfizer's data finds the COVID-19 vaccine did trigger some predictable side effects in most participants. And that is something people should definitely be prepared for. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site, particularly after the second dose of the vaccine. Nearly 78% of those age 18 to 55 reported pain after dose 2. 66% of participants over 55 experienced that symptom as well. About half reported the pain was mild. Redness and swelling were similar for both age groups, but they occurred in only about 4 to 7% of participants. In general, participants under 55 had more frequent and more severe side effects, especially after the second dose. In the younger age group after the second dose, 59% reported fatigue, nearly 52% experienced a headache, 37% reported muscle pain, and 35% had chills. Less common symptoms included fever, vomiting, diarrhea, or joint pain. In those over 55, after the second dose, over 50% reported fatigue, 39% suffered a headache, nearly 29% had muscle pain, and nearly 23% reported chills. In all ages, most of the symptoms occurred in the first day or two after receiving the vaccine, and most often lasted about a day. Swollen lymph nodes were also reported more often in people who received the vaccine compared to those who received the placebo. Now, there were 4 cases of Bell's palsy that occurred in the group that received the vaccine. Bell's palsy is a condition that causes temporary weakness or paralysis of certain muscles in the face. It is not clear that there is a connection to the vaccine, but the FDA will recommend surveillance for that side effect, in particular if the vaccine is authorized.
Now, Frank, this vaccine works very differently from, say, the flu vaccine, so I ask this question advisedly, knowing that they don't work the same way. But do we have any idea why those side effects come in that first day or two than we would say typically see with, say, a flu shot?
Yeah, Devin. Well, it's thought to be from an immune inflammatory reaction to both the mRNA, that's the genetic material in the vaccine, as well as the lipid material that's used to get that genetic material into cells. This is, as you mentioned, a very different type of vaccine. So, of course, it's not surprising that we're seeing different reactions.
Would seem to be in store with that. All right, Doc.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer continues extending her lockdowns that started last March, and the pushback against them is growing. Today, Congresswoman-elect Lisa McClain of the 10th District, which is St. Clair and much of Macomb County, says enough is enough. Tonight, Local 4's Rod Maloney had a chance to speak with McClain about her concerns, and Rod joins us live this evening with more. Rod.
Yeah, good evening, Kimberly. You know, Congresswoman-elect McClain heads off to Washington to get sworn in next month, but today she's acting as the Republican opposition to the governor's so-called pause. In fact, the extension of that, McClain is saying that it is really a lockdown and really ill-advised.
I believe we have coronavirus out there. I respect coronavirus. I don't fear it. I do think that's a difference.
The Congresswoman-elect believes the governor's fearful approach is not working.
9 months in, we've been doing these lockdowns. Obviously, in the governor's opinion, they're working. They're not.
Still, it's not enough just to criticize. McClain believes Governor Whitmer needs to look past just the health crisis and consider the economic crisis, and then look just across the border for some better solutions.
So Indiana, South Dakota, Florida, Texas, they're doing something right. Perhaps we could take a step back and pause and maybe take a look at what they're doing right.
In the end, she believes the governor's insistence on leaving the Michigan legislature out of the decision-making process is damaging to Michigan residents.
I would ask her to reach out to the legislative body and collaborate with them and work with them and put their political differences aside. We have people who are losing their jobs, losing their homes, losing their businesses.
And so one of the things that she says the governor also isn't considering here are the unintended consequences. I mean, she talked about the economic stuff, but she also talks about suicides, alcohol abuse, domestic violence, and the proliferation of food service programs. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
Hey, Rod, thank you. And the governor's office released a statement tonight, and it reads in part, quote, "We will be monitoring 3 data points very carefully over the next 12 days with the goal of slowly reopening schools, businesses, and other activities as we see significant progress in these measures." The sooner Michiganders put a pause on indoor social gatherings, the more lives we will save, and the sooner we will be able to resume our normal lives.
Detroit police are looking to find who shot a woman and set her home on fire with her and a child trapped inside. It happened at a home on Claiborne near West Warren and the Southfield Freeway. Police say a 20-year-old woman was killed and a little boy suffered severe burns. In fact, he is in critical condition at this hour, so a homicide investigation is underway.
A downriver family is searching for answers tonight after a fire rips through their home. It happened Monday night on Neely Street in Gibraltar. As Victor Williams shows us, the family of 6 not only lost their home and possessions, they lost their beloved pets.
As you can tell from all the debris behind me, this was a very devastating fire, and now a family of 6 is completely out of a home.
They were all devastated. Their kids were crying. They pretty much lost everything.
A Gibraltar family is working to pick up the pieces after their Neely Street home burnt to the ground not even 24 hours ago.
My daughter, her fiance, and the grandkids were all eating dinner last night when my daughter turned around to get drinks out of the garage, saw a huge fire starting in the garage.
All the toys among the burnt remains is a reminder that 4 children lived in the home with their 2 parents. Now the family has lost everything with the exception of the clothes on their backs.
That's when my wife grabbed the two twin girls, the 5-year-olds, 8-year-old, and a 12-year-old boy, and rushed to our house.
Investigators have yet to get to the bottom of what sparked the flames, but it appears the fire may have originated in the garage. So far, police are saying they don't suspect anything suspicious.
The house itself is a lot of smoke damage. There's so much water damage on the floor, everywhere. We could probably salvage some clothes or personal stuff. We could probably get picture-wise. We could probably save.
Unfortunately, 1 dog did not survive the blaze, while 2 other cats are missing.
It's a little shih tzu. It's only probably about 3 months old, 4 months old, and they're devastated.
Now the family has to go through the rebuilding process with very little to work with. The city has come together to help, as this couldn't have happened at a worse time with Christmas around the corner.
We got Toys for Tots donating. We got clothing coming to our house as I speak now. The city of Gibraltar is amazing.
And if you'd like to help this family struggling at this time, you can head over to our website, clickondetroit.com, for a link straight to their GoFundMe page. In Gibraltar, Victor Williams, Local 4.
Okay, Victor, thank you. There's still more to come here on Local 4 News at 6.
Let's turn things over to Ben before we head to a break. Ben?
Devin and Kim, we've got temperatures steadily getting warmer. We've still got 50 in our sights as the weekend approaches, but there are flakes there as well. We'll look at a pretty big transition coming up.
Mail delays being reported all over Metro Detroit. What's causing the problem now, and what can you do to correct the situation in your neighborhood? I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. We'll have that information for you coming up tonight.